Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of the Genre Blender podcast, where we explore what makes stories stick from the page to the screen. My name is Kris.
And I'm Ryan, and today we are doing the mid-year freakout tag for both books and games and maybe a bit of TV and maybe some movies, maybe.
No. I'm not freaking out this year.
No?
I'm feeling very mellow about just... There's so much chaos happening in the world. I don't have space for chaos in my hobbies. So this is the mellow freakout tag that we've got going on, and the belated
Well,
mid-year tag, I guess.
I'll be freaking out for both of us then at how little I've actually read this year.
Okay, nice.
It was not my intention to read so little, but hey, life, that's just how things happen.
It's just how the cookie crumbles, being adults and having adult responsibilities, and also just mentally being very tired at world stuff right now.
Legit.
So yeah, get it. I actually tallied. This is what I was doing before. When you're like, I don't understand what's happening here, you could hear my fan going off. I was tallying how many movies, books, and games I had consumed up until this point. So it is the 20th of July, so like a little bit further along the year. I don't know if you've done the same thing. Do you know what you've...
I don't for the middle of the year, but I do have a running list of everything that I do read, watch, and play. I haven't looked at it for the mid-year. I'll probably look at it at the end of the year, just because it's I feel like the end of the year for me is going to be ramping up a little bit,
Right.
so it might be quite different. But yeah, I haven't counted them, so no, I don't have a number. But I'm curious what yours is.
I'm hoping mine will ramp up for the end of the year. Maybe not movies. I have less travel planned for the end of the year, which is great. But movies, I'm at 21. My goal was 25, so we'll make that. And honestly, 5 of those have been like the last month or so.
It counts.
Books, I finished my 39th this morning, so I'm at 39 year to date, and games at 10, which is more than I thought that I'd played.
That's awesome, actually. That is more than I would expect as well. I'm in the middle of so many, actually. So like, I've probably got maybe like 7 games on the go, and
that's so
they're all
funny
like right
to me because I'm a game monogamist. Like if I've picked one, that's the flavor of the moment, and that's what I'm playing. I find it very difficult to split my attention with games. Books, though, probably do 3 or 4 at a time. Games, my brain just, I cannot with it.
Yeah, I can get that. I probably should actually take a page out of your book for that, because I tend to just not finish anything when I have too many on the go.
I don't finish any games. Like, I still don't finish them, but I do give them a dedicated amount of time, and then they're dead to me, and I never look at them again.
Yeah, that's fair. I can look up the individual numbers. Then this is not TV shows because I have that in a separate list. But for movies, it's still 16. I haven't watched any since for a while. So 16 movies. For games, let me take a look. Let's see. Finished 2025. I have finished 10, so not many. And for books, I think it's something like... I'll find that in a minute. But yeah, so I think you're definitely in the lead, but I have almost finished 2 more books, so, it's ramping up.
You said you were reading a fair bit lately. So that ties us into a read, watch, play update pretty nicely. So what have you been consuming?
Yeah. So I do have a few props here as well. So I did start reading. I haven't finished this, and I'm not even anywhere close, but I have been reading The Picture of Dorian Gray, your favorite book, one of your favorite books. I'm doing an immersive read for this one, so I haven't read as much as I would normally, just because I need to do it when I can sit down, listen, and read at the same time. Glad I'm doing that, though, because it's a great way to experience it. Loving that. I won't say anything more about it yet, because I'll wait till I finished, but it's really good. And then I've been reading, and I'm almost finished, actually, the 6th book in the Expanse series, James S. A. Corey, so Babylon's Ashes. Not my favorite.
I was going to say, I think I saw a post where you weren't having as good a time with this one.
Yeah, it's the weakest of all of them so far, I think, in my opinion. It didn't really start until about halfway through.
Right.
So I don't know. It's still fine. Like I still love it. It's kind of my jam. But yeah, it's definitely not the strongest book out the lot of them. Um, yeah, a bit of a slow start, but it's fine. Um, and there is another book that I am reading, but I will wait to talk about that one because it's kind of relevant to the topic.
Okay.
So I'll keep that one a surprise. You
It's
you
the
already
one that I
know the
found in
listeners
your
do.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the one I picked up at your place the other week?
uh, was it? I think it's a different one. I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I often rummage through your books whenever I'm at your house just
Well,
to
you
see what's
rummage through
new.
my books in the living room because they're the only ones that are there. So you miss
I
out on
feel
half of the
I
books.
feel rude going into your office, but I'm just going to rummage in here now. You stay out there. I'm going to go and have a look at your.
It's where the books are. It's fine. I
I
just
mean,
kind
you'll
of
know
half
where I
expect you to just
am.
walk,
Yeah.
just surround yourself by the books. So yeah, so reading, I'm almost finished a couple new books there. And then I've been watching Long Way Home, the uh, I guess the motorbike adventure story documentary kind of with Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman. I didn't realize there was a new series or season, so I've been watching that quite a bit and enjoying it. It's not fiction by any stretch, but it's just I just love it so much. Even though I don't care about motorbikes, it doesn't
I was
like I
going
have
to
no
ask.
interest. Yeah,
It's like, is that just
but
something that
it's
you've
not.
never talked to me about, that you love motorbikes?
Not even. It doesn't even matter. Like it's about their friendship and their adventure, and
Yeah, right.
it's just great.
When you're a
Great to watch it.
character-driven reader.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose that goes hand in hand. And no gaming. I've done absolutely none. So that's it. How about you?
Still playing Sunhaven, but very sporadically now. Like I said in the last episode, my energy is really going into getting alpha done,
Yes.
and ready for the copy edit. So most of my spare time is going into just reading this book aloud and trying to catch some very interesting spelling mistakes which haven't been brought up yet in like
You,
four
you did
reads. And I was
share
like,
one with me.
yeah, look, it wasn't the
It's good.
worst. It wasn't the worst one that's been in there for sure. Um, my favorite that I found has been, I said foot instead of food, which was it's like it really changes the tone of that sentence quite a lot. At least it was innocent, unlike the one that I shared with you, which I will not say in a public forum. Although that one was very
Classic.
funny if you've got an immature mind. So yeah, that's really the only thing I've been playing. I have watched a lot. Look, I tried Murderbot and I lasted 10 minutes before I gave up. I was like, this is not my humor. This is not for me. I thought it was so dumb. And I was like, it doesn't fit the tone of like the novellas for me. And like, I didn't love the novellas either, but I understand why people are enjoying it. I was like, just going to cut my losses. Like, I don't want to sit through how many episodes of this it is, because I know it's not for me. So I'm just going to hate watch it, and I'd rather go and do something else with my time.
That's fair.
I watched one episode of Mindhunter last night, which I've been meaning to watch since
Oh,
it
I
came
love that
out
show.
in
Mm,
2017. I want to say it's been a while.
yeah.
I think Jonathan Groff is such an underrated actor, and I had a really good time with it. It's right up my alley, very drama heavy, based on a true person and like his life work. I remember my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law is a true crime fanatic, and she was like, "It's nothing like his books," and I was like, "Yeah, it's based on like what? I don't understand why people can't like." Anyway,
Yeah.
that was just funny to me that she was like, "Something like his book looks awful." I was like, "Okay, I don't know that you went in with the right frame of mind going into that." But I enjoyed that, and I will continue on with the series. And probably out of the last batch of movies that I watched, which is about five, Sinners was it was just incredible. And I've actually watched more like modern movies, like made in 2025 or released in 2025, so I should say, than I have in like any other year. And Sinners was fantastic. It
Cool.
is such a love letter to the culture of the people and the race of that time and the struggles that they were having, while also being just a excellent vampire film that
Yeah.
really
Nice.
takes its tropes and plays with them. So I thought that was really well done. The movie, like the big pull for the movie, doesn't start until you're an hour in, which is, but I was so captivated by it. Score was great, cinematography was great, the acting was phenomenal, like just really good all round. And just that celebration of culture as well. Like I thought it was very, very well done. Books, I finished The Picture of Dorian Gray So that is done. I've got my tabs in it. I went and underlined and made some notes because I'm ready. Like, I'm ready for you to finish it. So when that
Yes, you are
happens,
ready.
just
Yeah.
I can read it again in the same time frame. Like,
It's fine. I'll read it next week, so we'll be able to talk about it probably
it
for an upcoming episode.
took me not very long at all. It was interesting to read it again, and I won't go too much into it because I don't want to talk about it. But I think when I read it, this is like, what am I, 30, turning 34? So it would have been 15 years ago,
Wow.
maybe,
And
that I
you've not
picked
read
it
it
up.
since then?
I've not read it since, no. And I loved it then, and I still loved it here, but I didn't twig to, and it's satire. Henry's whole persona is like satire and very dangerous ideals that this man has in the book. Henry, don't know. And
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
Lord
realize
Henry, and he's like
Lord
he calls him
Henry,
Harry. Yeah,
yeah, how problematic some of those ideals were in
you're
relation
right.
to the sexism, the just this idea that nothing matters outside of youth and beauty, which is part of the reason that I love the book. But listening to it this time around, I was like, oh, those things didn't twig as much as the first time I read it. Now reading it with an adult brain, so that was
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Um,
I love that.
and I finished this morning Wraith and the Revolution by AJ Calvin, which is a cyberpunk military sci-fi from the
Yes.
indie scene, which has taken me so fucking long to read. No fault of the book, just I haven't had time to pick it up. So, but I have finished 2 books in the last fortnight, which is great.
Nice. Yeah, I saw your videos on YouTube about. I think they came up in one or two of them, and yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It's not my favorite, but the character was my favorite, which is interesting because that seems to be shifting for me a little bit. With I normally don't vibe with the main character. It's a fault. It's my own fault. I don't
Yeah,
like
this is a
I.
pattern. I've seen
This
it.
is a
Yes.
pattern. I don't normally vibe with the main character. I'll find side characters that I prefer more of, and I want more of them. That being said, the main character was written very well, and I think that is the intention from the author. Just because I didn't vibe with Kai was his name, he's very real, and like the struggles that he went through, and his life experience and the PTSD, like it's all quite well done. It makes sense for the character, which is what you
Yeah.
really, what we're really asking for. Like, there's the motivations and the actions make sense to that person, which they absolutely do.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, went on a rant. I've been busier than I thought I was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we both have been busy lately, so yeah, things just fall by the wayside. But look, I notice you can keep up with things even when you do get busy. Everything for me just falls away, so I've got some catching up to do. But I will read Picture of Dorian Gray, and we will talk about
It's because I don't like to have time to think with my own
it.
thoughts, and that's probably something to go to therapy about. But instead, I'm just gonna
Just
continue
ignore. It's
reading and
fine.
watching and playing wherever I can to fill the void.
It's a strategy. I'm saying it's the best one, but
And yeah,
it's one.
is it the correct one? Probably
Question
not.
mark.
However, yeah,
Yeah.
but it is middle of the year. Well, slightly past middle of the year. So, are you ready to freak out? I've lost the notes. I'm freaking out because I've lost the notes.
You're
There
freaking
we
out
go.
because you lost the notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm freaking out a little bit again because I've got a lot of catching up to do because I'm not where I wanted to be. Not that there is any like that. It's a stupid arbitrary number that we put on things. You know, we all do it. But you know, I did say, hey, this year I was going to read a lot more, and I haven't done that until the last couple of weeks. But that's okay. That's fine. That's my thing, and I've got the rest of the year to play catch up or to to enjoy the
Yeah,
rest of
you
the
still
stuff.
got time. You're fine.
So we do have a list of prompts as per this tag. I have been watching a few videos, by the way, of other booktubers. This is one of the few tags that I do kind of watch.
Isn't that interesting? I've really not watched a lot of BookTube recently. And normally when I'm not feeling watching anything, that's what I'll gravitate towards. And like I have my favorites, which I'll continue to watch. But like this tag, I've watched literally no one this year. Do
Cool.
it.
Well, you won't be copycatting anybody, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
So
go. The first
we'll go
question is
through.
quite heavy-handed. We start with a big one.
A lot of people are leaving this one till last as well, and I can see why. But this one's an easy one for me. Do you want to take it in turns? Who's going first?
Yeah. We'll take it in turns. I'll read the question. You go first, and we'll
Alright.
vice versa.
Cool.
Question number 1: best book or game or TV? We can alter this as we want
Mm-hmm.
to with our podcast that you've read so far this year.
Yep, easy one for me. So that one is Flowers for Algernon, Daniel Keyes. I ended up reading this one pretty quickly, a few days, which is again not very common for me. And then I wrote an article on our website on johnrodlender.net. So if you want to go read that, it's up there now. Um, this was in my head. It still is. It's living in my head now for I hope forever because it's an important book. Um, Man, I freaking love this book so much. I There's a few people I've been speaking to about it just because I've posted it and said that I loved it, and everyone's like, "Oh, I remember reading that, when I was a kid," or "I loved that book too," or "Oh, I still think about that one all the time." It's obviously pretty universal for a lot of people. But yeah, I think it's such an important book, and I think literally everyone on planet Earth should read it. And I've written about that and about why I think that, and it's to do with empathy. um, and the article is called, I titled it, "Sometimes Books Are the Best Teachers," because I do believe that is true, but it's definitely the case for Flowers for Algernon. If you've never heard of this book, by the way, and I'll probably do another video at some point about it, but it's basically about a man. His name's Charlie, and I guess you could say he sort of has an intellectual disability, or he's considered not very smart, very not intelligent by everyone around him, and it sort of gets taken advantage of a little bit, as you would expect. But he has been given the opportunity to have his intelligence considerably increased through like a medical procedure, and the book is about what happens when that occurs and the relationships that he has and how they might change and so on. I won't say more than that because I think it's an important book to read. I think most people have probably, if you're a reader of books, most people have probably read this one. I was a little bit behind the curve, but it was great. Well, that's for future Kris can read that one at some point. It's very short.
Yeah, right. I feel like yours was like philosophical. We've had some like soul searching, some conversation. Mine's just like epic fantasy. So
Totally fine.
my the best book of the year I have to give to The Crippled God, even though it
Yeah.
took me 1,000 years approximately to get to this point in the series and to read it. And it gets best book of the year because of just how much this series and the love for this series clicked for me about a third of the way through. Um, and I don't want to get spoilers away because I feel like a lot of people do sit on this series, and for good reason. In that, it is intimidating. So even when I started reading fantasy again, I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to pick up this series. And then it was probably about 2 years after reading fantasy again, I was like, okay, I'm ready to dive in. I think the journey of the Molested Book of the Fallen, the main 10 books, has probably taken about 2 years to get to this point, to finish it. And I'm glad I did it the way that I did it, but this is so phenomenal. Like, it is incredible what Erickson has done and been able to achieve in a final book, to have a 10 book series with 1 million words and to have it be satisfying at the end and hit on most cylinders. For me personally, I was like, that's an achievement as an author to be able to do so. That was an easy one for me as well. The best book of the year thus far.
Nice.
I don't know how easy it will be towards the end of the year, but at least for now, it's been okay.
That's actually a good point. I feel like that's going to be a lot harder to.
Yeah, if your reading's ramping up as well and you've got like, I don't know, 50
Yes.
books to go through by the end of the year.
Yeah. 100%. Cool. Nice. All right. Prompt or question number 2: best sequel you've read, watched, or played so far this year?
Another easy one for me. This is Only a Grave Will Do by James Lloyd Doolan, and this was recent, so I think technically I finished it over the halfway mark. But if we're going to like today's date, this was book 3 in the Malditu series, and this is such a hard hitting series in that James Lloyd Doolan does not shy away from his topic of colonization and the horrific personal journeys that people who have been fighting colonization have to go through in a fictionalized setting. And I think he's really done this series in a way where he's gone, this is important. We should still be talking about it. I know it's not comfortable, so I'm going to give it to you in fiction, but it will make you think. I will force you to sit here and think about your own lives, your own privilege, and what that means for other cultures. And I think he tied that together really well. The book was fucking devastating, and it's the only one that I've got in here twice. When we get further down the prompt list, you can probably pick
Nice.
which one that it will be.
Yeah.
I tried to do like different things for every question, but
Same.
like this one takes the cake for one of the one of the questions further down the track. So yeah, amazing series. I will read it again, which is not something I say very often. I think it is worth revisiting because it's one of those as well that is quite epic at scale, told in two timelines, past and present, that you'll pick more up on a second round going through it. So yeah, that was mine.
Nice. Yeah, it's same for me. Like I'm not a big rereader, as we've talked about, but like when a book hits you that hard, and you're just like, oh, that I'll be coming back to maybe like 10 years from now, maybe.
Yeah, I need to give it a minute, but I'll
Yeah,
come back to
yeah.
it. I don't know. I might be changing my tune on rereading. Maybe
Oh,
it's just
good.
because this year has been hectic, so I'm craving comfort and things that are
Hmm.
familiar. I don't know. That's another
Yeah,
topic.
yeah. If,
Tangent
if I read
one.
faster, I would. Yeah, yeah. If I
Yeah,
read faster, I would absolutely reread more. But because I'm a big I'm a big fan of rereading in principle. But yeah, just time.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't read any sequels. Obviously, I didn't read enough to really read any sequels, but I have played a game that is technically a sequel, and that is Fantasy Life I, which I now have a physical copy of because I did buy it so that Steph and I could play multiplayer together. And that arrived from Canada, actually. That was a Canadian store. Um, Great game. I mean, like, I'm still playing it. We played multiplayer the other day. Just jumped back in and spent an hour or so just mucking around. It was just great going through one of the dungeons there. What are they called? Shrines? I think they're called
yeah.
shrines, something like that.
Tries. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it's
Steph
just
is
a fun
enjoying
game
it.
to.
It feels like it's a Steph
Yeah.
kind of game.
Oh yeah, she's still playing the story. So I finished the story and now I'm sort of going back and doing all the rest of the different lives and
Mhm.
leveling those up and making crafting a whole bunch of things. But she's still playing the story and she's still hooked by it. I think she's taking her time with it. She said, I think she's towards the end of it now. She's not far away.
She'll beat me.
She's loving it.
I think I'm still only
Maybe
10 hours in, so
it's fine though.
I
Like
got taken in by Sunhaven, and that was it. That's my life now. That's my
yeah,
monogamous game choice for the foreseeable future.
it's fine though because it's a game that you can just come back to later and pick up right where you left off, and it doesn't even matter. And that's kind of what I love about it. And because the story is surprisingly good too. Like
It does have
it's
a
decent.
great casual vibe.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah,
no pressure at
yep.
all. You just
Literally
pick it
none.
up and go have a bit of fun, and then plus it was fun. Ryan and I played multiplayer when I had COVID. I was meant to go over, and
Yeah,
then we just played multiplayer instead, and that was pretty fun. Just exploring
yeah,
and losing
absolutely.
you
Yeah,
and going into areas where I should not be.
well, we were figuring it out at the
Yeah,
time because neither of us had done multiplayer. But it's easier when we're both on the same platform, that's for sure. And yeah, it's just look, it's a fun time. There's really nothing more to say other than it's just a good game to sink some time into and spend with somebody else.
yeah, nice.
All right, number 3, your turn. I think.
Yep, I remembered. I remembered when you prompted me. Please, new release you haven't read yet but want to.
Yes. Okay. This is where I actually get to talk about something I
Just
haven't,
like
I haven't
the
talked about yet.
Glee. That's
The
amazing.
Glee. I'm actually really excited. So the book that I haven't read yet, but really want to, and actually owns, we have a prop right here as well, is Luminous by Sylvia Park.
That's a cool
Um,
cover.
so okay, here's the funny thing, right? So the cover is cool. There's an even cooler cover, and I'll put the link in the show notes to an interview that she did. I'm not sure who with, talking about the original cover, which is basically it's got a multicolored, like it's very like pop arts kind of style, but it's got like a Korean tiger on the top of a mountain, and it has some significance as to why, and she explains it in the video. That cover is cooler, and I wish we in Australia, and I'm not sure, maybe UK, get this cover instead. And although it's cool, it's not nearly as cool as the other one, and I'm kind of bummed out about that.
Which is funny because I
Um,
feel like most of the time the UK and the Australian covers are better. Like they're
yeah,
superior to the
exactly.
US
Not this
covers,
time.
but this time, dang it.
Yeah,
What's it about? What's drawn you to it? And don't ask me that
yeah.
question for mine because I don't know.
No, well, I actually I did come prepared. I'm gonna read the little blurb it's not on the book, I don't think. Oh, no, it might be. Yeah. Anyway, it's from I think I got this one from the Story Graph. it says a highly anticipated sweeping debut. It's Sylvia Park's first novel length anyway. Set in a unified Korea that tells the story of three estranged siblings, two human, one robot, as they collide against the backdrop of a murder investigation to settle old scores and make sense of their shattered childhood. And it says it's perfect for fans of Clara and the Sun, so a Kazuo Ishiguro book. When I'm a big fan of Ishiguro, and We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves, which is a Karen Joy Fowler book that I haven't read, but if you know her work. But I found this one out from a list of trans authors or books with trans characters. And there is a trans man character in this book. But the reason I picked this one up is it's kind of cyberpunk-ish. It deals with AI and robots and you know what it means to be human. Mostly, it's a human story that just happens to have or be told through science fiction themes. But also because it happens to have a trans character in it, but it's not about the character's transness. It's about just everything else. He just happens to be trans. So I just thought that was, anytime I can find a book like that, I'll pick it up and read it. But this one, yeah, spoke to me definitely with its themes and very sci-fi. So I'm very excited to read this one.
I can hear the excitement. That's really nice when trans people are just allowed to be, I don't know, people.
Yep.
Because you know what happens in real life? We're just people.
We're just people living our lives. Hey,
And you know
hey.
what? Most of us are very boring.
Guilty.
Yeah. Two people that you've got here. Case in
Yep.
point.
Yeah.
Was it just that one that you've got on your
Yeah.
list?
Yeah, that's the one that I chose to talk about. There's plenty more. I mean, look, I bought I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I bought a trolley just for my TBR.
I know we can
We'll
see
come back
it
to
in
that
the
in a minute.
background.
Yeah,
Look at it. Just
there's
the
more on there,
glorious
as you can tell.
TBR cart that Ryan has got. I've got two for this one that I physically have, and they're both horror because I'm feeling a little bit of horror.
Ooh.
I do go through waves of wanting to get into horror. It's not something like I love it, but I don't gravitate towards it unless I'm in the mood for it. So the first one is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, which is just, I think, feminism, witchy cult horror. I have heard mixed reviews on this one. A few people that don't necessarily have the same taste as me, so I still have high hopes for myself, have like DNF'd it and been like, not really what I thought it was. But I do enjoy feminism, and I think feminism horror are great things to go together to really deep dive into some of those themes. So this will be interesting. I think the cult is for young girls who have become pregnant and they are shipped away to this facility to get dealt with because they're like underage, and they decide to take power back for themselves and start a little witchy cult. I don't know much more than that, but I'm excited to find out when I get to it. I'm not a big DNFer as well, so like I think I'll just read it, and even if it's not what I expect it to be, then it'll be a time. And the other one is another horror. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it sounds like one of those books that could either go
it's either
more lighthearted or it's going to be a freaking nightmare of a book.
Nightmare, awful, or fantastic. Don't know. Could be a mixed bag. And the other one I have is also a horror, which I'll read, not the blurb, but the description out to you, because I think it may pique your interest as well. And this is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. And it says, an unabashed, adrenaline-fueled pop horror thriller reminiscent of Dean Koontz and Stephen King, inspired by The Lathe of Heaven and Terminator 2.
Oh, okay.
So I was like...
Say no more.
I'm like, I'm in. And this will be my first Nat Cassidy. I've pre-ordered the audiobook for this one, which I think comes out later this month. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. I'll be waiting for your opinion on that one.
Nat Cassidy books are so hard to get a hold of here in Australia. I have one called Mary, which I meant to read, and that's about, and he was trying to be quite conscious of the subject matter. So I think the theme for that one is women not being believed at doctors.
Oh wow.
And delving into some of the shitty medical treatment that women can have because they're of certain ages or they might be overweight and they're just not being listened to. And that is in a horror setting. I was like, that's very interesting to delve into. So the theme is quite heavy. So I'm interested in this one because I don't think it's as heavy as the themes of Mary.
Okay. I love a good practical horror. Horror that has real issues, at stake there. Yeah. Wow. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Where are we up to? Number 4. So the most anticipated release for the second half of the year.
Look, I went overboard with this
Here we
question.
go.
I have 2 games and 2 books. 2.
Wow. All right. I was trying to be sensible and keep it to one, but I'm probably wise because now you get
I
to.
tried to be sensible, and I feel like this is sensible for me because at least like for my own like track record, I'm probably achievable to get to all 4 of these this year. So the first one comes out I think next week, and it's called The Broken Sword by L.L. McRae. It's book 3 in the Dragon Spirit series. Really have enjoyed my time with this. It is, I would say, light, high fantasy, but it has one of my like favorite established couple sapphic relationships that I've ever read, and it's very like it's those the dynamic between these 2 women is very much like Rachel and myself. One is chaotic and has ADHD, and one's like the rule follower, and she is like just a stickler for the rules. Definitely got to
Gee,
stick
I
up
wonder
their
which one
bum.
you are.
Yeah, well, look, it's not hard to put those together, but like the first time I read the first book, I like fell in love with Giselle, who was the chaotic one. I was like, so different to me, and then we get Callidra's point. I was like, righto.
Nice.
There it is. But yeah, that's the end of the trilogy, which I'm really looking forward to. What's nice about that one is Jim and I have read it together, so we'll both finish that as like a buddy read. And the other one is interesting. So the author will come up again, but not book. Is Level Apocalypse by David Dalglish, which is a literary RPG, and he's released 2 this year, and I've listened to both. Both not like all-time favorites, but very good in between books. Just to put in, the world is great. One of my favorite characters is like a sentient being from this series, which we'll get to in a few questions time. And he has book 3, Level Apocalypse, coming out. I think it's on the 30th of September, so that's coming out towards the end of the year. And for games, Witchbrook. Oh, it's coming.
Yes,
It is
it's on
coming
my
out
list
in
too,
November.
actually.
I cannot fucking wait. I have already told my boss, I was like, I may not come into work the day. And I've never
Just
taken
heads
a
up.
day off for a game before. But I
Wow.
was like,
Oh,
if
dude.
that comes and it's not like blackout period, which is around Christmas, I will probably not be here that day. So just like as forewarning.
Just FYI.
And also there's another game coming out. I think it's this year, called Grimshire, which is like Stardew Valley and Graveyard Keeper, like the
Oh,
macabre.
I do know this one. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yes.
macabre side of, but funny side of Graveyard Keeper, and like
Yeah.
the cozy elements of Stardew Valley together. And I'm like, I'm very, very curious. So yeah, looking forward
Nice.
to seeing what that's all about. There is another one which is of a similar vein, but I can't remember the name of it. So
Yeah,
what about
right.
you? I got excited.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like excited Chris about games. Is that the one that was in a Nintendo Direct? Might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah.
Okay, because it looks really good. I don't know if it's my jam, but I could see it being yours absolutely.
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, yeah, Chris is gonna like this one. So that makes
I'm
sense.
ready. It's in the wish
Yeah,
list. It's good to go.
nice, nice, cool. Awesome. Well, look, I did have some backups actually, so I can say more than one. But I did choose one specifically because it is a book, and I don't often have many upcoming books that I get to talk about and I'm excited about, just because I don't keep track of what's coming out. I've had such a big backlist of books anyway. But there is a book that I discovered from, I don't know if you're familiar with Rachel from the Shades of Orange on YouTube, booktube channel. It's one of the ones that I have been watching for years, even before I knew what booktube was really. And mostly because she mostly talks about science fiction, or very much about science fiction, and has very similar tastes to me, in that she really likes, I guess, very thinky, philosophical, sometimes like action adventure, but sometimes more low key, smart, intelligent sci-fi. So I will often find books from her channel that I know I will like because of the similarities. So there's a book that she talked about. I think she got a review copy, called Volatile Memory by Seth Haddon. So you're probably familiar with him on Instagram, perhaps. I know he's big on the social media, but this one looks right up my alley, because it's basically about AI, consciousness, personhood, all those themes that I love. It's a
Say it's a big
novella.
theme for you this year, the
Yeah,
AI stuff, which is interesting.
yeah. It just happens to be everyone's writing about it, and obviously you can see why. The timing right now makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are just grappling with these ideas right now. The reality of our current world situation. Um, but this one is written in a second person perspective, so I'm very curious how that goes. I know a lot of people will be turned off by that, and that's fine. I freaking love experimental fiction, so of course I'm there for that. And it has queer characters, so like it ticks all the boxes. I'm totally down for it. So hey, I'm glad for a shorter book as well because I need to pad out my books I've read this year.
Should I do a shameless plug? My book's coming out this year. It's like,
I'll
kidding.
be
I'm
reading your
kidding.
book too.
No, please don't.
You try and stop me.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that for a second. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, we will be talking about. Well, I mean, probably your. I haven't asked you yet, but I'm assuming you'll say yes when the book comes out. We'll do a bit of an episode on it.
I mean, it'd be interesting to do a deep dive into the thematics because I don't think they're obvious on
Yeah,
the page.
yeah, would love that. So I do have a couple backup options. So there is obviously a couple games. Which book was on my list as well, but also Pokemon Legends ZA. So that's coming out in October, I think it is. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably play that at the time. I always usually play Pokemon games upon release. Probably just smash out the story and be done with it, like I did with the last couple. But it's fine.
I mean, I feel like the
And
story still gives you quite a few hours of
yeah,
game time. Like
yeah,
they're 30, 40 hour storylines.
absolutely. Scarlet Violet was actually a really good story and a lot darker than a lot of Pokemon games before it, or almost all of them. I was very surprised at that story. So, I mean, who knows? I think Pokemon as a entity, as a whole thing, is kind of going places maybe that we didn't expect, several years ago. Anyway, but
I think
yeah,
as a
I'm there for it.
franchise, it's done so well in picking up the next generation as it's come through. It's
Yeah,
like in my heart, it's always going to be the original 150. Like I
yeah,
know them.
same.
Except Gen 2, I didn't mind because I was sort of still in the Pokemon era when Gen 2 came
Yeah,
in. And then once we got to 3, I was like, I don't know what these things are
yeah,
anymore, nor do I care. But they're still fun games to dabble in. Again, another
yeah.
thing that's quite easy just to pick up
Mm,
casually
absolutely.
if and when you want them.
Yeah, Pokemon in itself is like something you can just jump into casually, or you can get all the way in if you really want to as well, which is kind of cool. I don't know many franchises of anything really that have that kind of range of how much you really want to get into it. But I'm the same, like the original 151. They're my favorite. Steph still plays Pokemon Go, so she's still familiar with, like, she can name all of the Pokemon. I'm pretty sure. If I showed her a picture, she'd be like, "Yep, that's so and so." That skill for me has long gone. Many many years since I've been able to do that.
On the old
Um,
show when they were like, "What's this Pokemon?" I don't
yeah,
fucking know.
yeah, yeah. I'm no good at that anymore. Used to be. Um, but yeah, anyway, so that's gonna be a ton of fun. And there's also the Outer Worlds too, which I just want to give a quick mention because I really tried to play the Outer Worlds one. It's in first person, so you won't play it. I know that, but even for me, like I don't really enjoy first person games typically. But the story in that one was just so satirical and clever, and I really am kind of bummed out that I never played it. So maybe I'll go back and play it and then play the second one, or maybe I'll just skip it and play number two. But yeah, just wanted to mention that one because I'm quite looking forward to that.
It's interesting the whole like I want to go back and play game one. We could probably do a whole episode on this as well because I really want to play Dragon's Dogma 2, but I was
Mm,
like, I'm gonna go back and play the first one. I've tried the first one twice, and I get like 10 hours in, and I'm like, I'm kind
yeah,
of done with it. So I'm like, should I play two? Like I don't know, but the graphics are updated. I don't know if the storyline follows the story though, and I was like, I've never been one to follow stories in games. I just sort of go in and play it for the enjoyment of it. Pixel art holds my attention more, so I don't know. Potentially.
yeah.
If you
You can
pick
always
up
do a
Outer
let's
Worlds
play.
2 and you're like, that's true, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy
yeah.
watching people playing games unless they're like my friends. Like, I like watching Rachel play games. I would like to watch you play the new Pokemon so I don't have to go and buy it just to see if I want to play it. But
Oh, we
yeah,
can play together though. It'll be fun. Come on. I'm not gonna. I'm
I
not gonna
will.
peer pressure you
Okay,
into it.
if you put the Pokemon battle in my brain, I will do it.
Oh, that's how I can get you in.
So
Okay, cool.
I
I'll
will
note
Pokemon
that
battle
for
you
later.
any day.
Like, you'd kick
Pokemon
my ass
Stadium's
any
on the
day then, because that's
Switch.
not my
Yeah,
fault.
we're
Yeah,
going. Let's go.
done.
After this. Okay. Uh, all right. So, oh, fun one.
Yeah,
Biggest disappointment.
I actually have two for this because I couldn't decide what to talk about. Okay, well, look, I have a book and I have a game. Um, and both of these were kind of easy for me to decide as well, which is, I guess, kind of sad. But anyway, the first is the game, which is Life is Strange Double Exposure. I really wanted to love this game, and
I
I just,
suspected that was coming up.
oh, dude, I'm still a little bit sad about it. The first three episodes were great. They actually were pretty great. But it set up a lot of promises that it just did not deliver on, let's just say. And the last couple of episodes just went in a direction where I was just like, really? You kind of you you didn't read the room and you kind of fucked it all up. So yeah, it wasn't that good. And it's sad because it had the original or some of the original characters from the very first game, which is always kind of nice to come back and see their stories again and see where they're at. It had like Max is the main character again. But yeah, it wasn't. I haven't really thought about it since I stopped playing it, so I guess that explains everything. And then the book, and I don't know if you'll agree. You probably won't agree to this extent, but unfortunately, it was Butter by Asako Yuzuki.
No, it makes sense. It's not my
Yeah,
biggest disappointment of the year, um, but I can understand why it would be for you.
yeah. It's look, I love Japanese literature. I don't think I've ever read a Japanese book that I disliked, and I think that's kind of the first one, unfortunately. It wasn't even anything in particular. It's just kind of I feel like it didn't really know what it wanted to say clearly. I think that was the problem, and I've heard that from a couple of people as well. So I know I'm not alone in thinking that. I think it got a little bit confused. I think it was too long. It didn't need to be that long. It could have been edited right down. But I think it didn't really state what it was really trying to say, and that message didn't really hit home properly. It does have some good things in it, but I tried to read this book. I took it with me on holiday to Japan. And I tried to read it on the plane, and then that didn't work. And I tried to read it at the hotel, and that didn't work. I probably had about 5 different false starts with it. I bought it on, was it? Yeah, I got it on audio. So I finished it with the audio book, which the narration was actually really
It's
good.
quite good, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, it didn't land for me. So anyway,
I would agree
it's
that,
what it
like, I
is.
think the themes in it were, we haven't really had a discussion about it because we both read it this year. The
Yeah,
themes in there were really good, and I would have liked for the author to have committed to the
yes,
themes, and that's what it felt like. It felt like there was a skating of these really deep and very important themes to dive into, but it almost felt like the author got scared and then put more commercially acceptable storyline in there. But you're right, didn't commit to either one. So we're sort of going for
yeah,
themes, we're sort of going for this storyline. Neither of them are doing exactly what I wanted as a reader, and maybe that's on me as the reader. But I was like, if you're going to do something deeply thematic, and that's why I also love Japanese fiction, is they do tend to do themes, and they're similar, and they, a lot of the themes are very same across books, but they do them so well, and they deep dive into their different perspectives so well, and that was missing from Butter. So I totally get why
yeah,
you would go into it being like thematic, great, let's go, and then just be like,
yeah,
was it thematic or was it just a mystery thriller that felt a little
yeah.
bit
That's
flat?
exactly, that's the question, right? Like, what was it trying to do? I still don't know. But like this cover though, like it didn't even deliver on the cover looks so awesome, and I feel like you've sort of teased all these little bits and pieces that on their own would be like, oh yeah, there's a hook there. I'm kind of in, and then you start reading and you realize it's not really going anywhere. So it was just a bit of a shame. I don't want to poo poo on it too much, but yeah,
If you
just
like mystery thrillers, you might enjoy it. If you like mystery thrillers that skirt themes that you can think about if you want to, but doesn't really deep dive too much into them. Like, I was pretty much lost when we got to the cooking school,
yeah.
and I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
At
I
this point, what are we doing?
I feel like more than anything, it was a character study, and even then, it kind of missed the mark. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I was
even
like, I
call
felt
it a
she was
good
pretty flat
thriller. Yeah,
as a
I wouldn't call
character.
it a good mystery. Like, I think if you were going in wanting a mystery, I don't think it is that. So anyway, I'm not really sure who it's meant for.
If you want a
Which
3-star book, pick up butter. If you want something that's okay but doesn't
I
commit, pick
I
up
always
butter.
feel bad when I talk bad about a book because I don't like to like I'm very much all about I'll share things that I love and that's it. And the stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like the reason we never really had a discussion about it is because I didn't really want to talk bad about it, to be honest. I don't really like doing that because I know how much work goes into writing a
Oh,
book.
of
Like it's
course.
blood, sweat, and tears, as you would know. So yeah,
At the
it's
same time, reading is super subjective. So,
yeah,
it's
sure,
what
but,
one person likes isn't going to be the
yes and
same as
no.
what
Like I
somebody
feel
else
like
likes.
it is, but yeah, I feel like you can be literary objective. Anyway,
You're a bigger
let's not
book
get into
snob than
that. This
me.
is not the episode for that. I am fully admit
Yeah.
to that. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm like, if you like it, read it. I don't care. It doesn't. It's no skin off my teeth.
It's not all bad. Let's just say that there's some good in it. So,
It was okay.
all right, your turn.
It tried. It did its best. For me, it was a thriller, action thriller. Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. Really cool premise. God, that character shat me. Just dumb, like just dumb
Love that.
shit. And I really liked the premise. I really liked the storytelling style where we have these podcast episodes and these podcast interactions, and then things happen around that. I thought that was quite fun. And I read it for fun. Like I knew it wasn't going to be like the most thematic thing that I've ever read. It wasn't going to be like a 5-star read, but I was still like by the end of it, just hate listening to it to finish it. I was like, just end. And you like for me, because I'm not a DNF, I will
Yeah, you're
force
not.
myself through
Mm.
things that I'm not loving because I got to like the 80% mark and I was so done. I was like 2.5 times speed. Let's go. Let's just let's get it done.
I
Uh,
couldn't do it.
but like I gave it a 2.5 star because like it was entertaining. Like I'll give it that. The story was entertaining. If you just want a mind-numbingly entertaining read that you can turn your brain off to and it's just a bit of like bookish popcorn, fine, you'll probably have an okay time with it. If you think about the actions that this character is taking, she's dumb and being stalked by a killer. And you're like, would you do that though? Or is that like the dumbest thing that you could potentially do ever? Putting
Isn't that
yourself in that situation.
every horror story though? Like I feel like that's a whole trope, right?
No,
Where
I mean,
like
yes, it is a trope. It is a trope.
yeah,
But I feel like there is still some very smart horror out there,
sure.
which makes them
Yeah.
scary. This was just like, it felt like the author wanted to finish the book. Like, I felt like the author was done at that point.
Ouch.
So you just had
Yeah.
to get it out. Like the publisher's got a deadline. So I better just
It's like the worst thing
better
you can
just finish
say.
it. Anyway, sorry, Carter Wilson. I'm sure you won't ever
Yeah.
listen to this, but it is one of the only times where I haven't gone, I'll give that author another chance. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think I would totally DNF a book if I was just like increasing the speed just to get through it. Like that's a sign to me that it's got a DNF. And I'm not a big DNFer either, but only because I don't read as much. I think, and I probably should DNF more than I do because then I will read more. That's there's an episode for us as well down the track.
The stubborn non-DNFers.
Well, I'm curious why.
A
Like,
DNF series, like
Mm.
if I finish a book and I'm like, I probably
Yeah.
don't really care, then I've only DNF'd 2 books since starting book content anywhere that I can remember.
Jeez, wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And one of those series I will start again because I think I just wasn't well read in the fantasy genre when I picked it up, so it went over my head, and I will try it
Wow.
again. But one I was like, not for me at all, and I'm just not going to put myself through it.
Yeah, wow. Fair enough.
Right. Well, let's go more positive.
Yes,
The
let's
next one.
change tack here. So, number 6 is the biggest surprise.
It's going to be Pride and Prejudice for me.
Wow, I'm surprised. Actually, no, I'm not that surprised.
I fucking loved it. It was so good. This is the Jane Austen collection. Like, it's one of the stories in
Nice.
here. This is Rachel's collection of them. I have to say, I was enamored from start to finish. One of my favorite characters, which we'll talk about, comes from the book as well. I was just, it's a romance, which is not something that I tend to gravitate towards. But it was funny, like Jane Austen, the satire in that, the
Yeah.
conversations that they were having, which they're poking fun of the whole time,
Oh, 100%.
still very relevant today. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's just, you can take the, which I guess is why it's a classic. You take the concepts that these people are talking about and put them in modern day world, and we're still having these fucking conversations. But I thought it was charming. I loved Lizzie. Like, just would probably have fallen for her myself if I was in that era.
Nice.
Runs to her own beat, and it was just, yeah, loved it. I loved everything about it. Can't wait to read some of the retellings that have come about. But yeah, won't be my last
Yeah,
Jane
well.
Austen, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. I find it really funny actually, and I was just thinking about this the other day. I don't know, I was probably watching a video on the topic. That it's like such a common book to read in school, and I feel like as a school aged kid, that's just gonna go right over your head, as it obviously does for so many people. Why that one out of like all of the possible classics? Like I think in grade 11 I did The Great Gatsby, and that one like I enjoyed and got a lot out of at the time. But when I was, I don't know, what, 14, I did not care for Pride and Prejudice. And all that does for kids is make
Make you not
them
want to read them,
dislike.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. And that's so sad. So I never understood that. Whoever decided that Pride and
I
Prejudice should be on the book list.
I must have had like a fun school or just like a public school who didn't care. Because I did not get classics as
None, really.
no.
Yeah.
We did some Shakespeare for
Yeah.
plays and stuff in English, but no, not really.
Yeah, well,
Not really classics. I think I read The Hobbit when I was 14, but that was as
at
close as
school.
we got to a classic, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then yeah, I had like Hatchet, Z for Zachariah. I had, and those like the
Wow.
really big, like those dystopian books, they were horrific. Now I'm like, why'd you give that to a 12-year-old? That's not great.
Yeah, the choices they make, I think, are somewhat confusing. And
And Looking for Brandy, also depressing as fuck.
oh wow, yeah, I never read that one. That was assigned to us, and I never got to read it. Yeah,
I remember enjoying. I was a nerd. I enjoyed all the reading assignments, and I did them. Like,
yeah, big nerd.
I definitely finished the book way faster than anybody else. It's a reoccurring nightmare I still have is that I've got a book report due, and I haven't read the
You haven't
book.
done it.
I'm 34, but I still have this. Like, I'm in high school and I haven't done my book report.
It's
I don't know
hilarious.
why. Again, for therapy. To try to
Yeah.
figure that out. What was your
Oh
biggest
man.
surprise?
Yeah. Okay. So my biggest surprise is a game. And I feel like you're probably going to know what this one is. It is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. And it's a surprise because it literally came out of nowhere and surprised literally everybody on the internet. Yeah. What an amazing story experience. I haven't finished it, so I'm right at the end. I'll probably be finished in probably this weekend actually. But just in terms of storytelling, just the narrative alone to show what you can do in a video game, and it's not even a AAA title, is just mind blowing to me, and obviously to a lot of people because it's going to probably be a lot of people's favorite game of the
Game
year,
of the year,
perhaps.
yeah. I'm hearing
Yep.
that it's going to
Yep.
be pretty up there for Game of the Year awards.
Exactly. In a year that the Nintendo Switch 2 came out as well with like Mario Kart and everything, so that's really saying something. But look, it's not perfect, and I haven't talked about it yet because I haven't finished it. But like as an RPG, it's not perfect. It has a lot of systems. I think it has too many systems that kind of compete with each other, and there's a lot to sort of think about. I don't think it's very clear in what it wants to do as an RPG. A lot of the choices don't really matter either. Like you can just choose to do all the things. You can speak to all the characters. You don't have to decide who you want to spend time with, that kind of thing. So there's stuff that I think could be better. But despite all of that, I still think it's an incredible game, and I'm having a blast just like trying to understand what is going on in this story because the story is so damn gripping. And it is dark and sad and really makes you think and feel and all the good things that good stories do. So yeah. Oh, it's really pretty as well. And that helps. All right, I'm done. I'm done gushing.
Sorry,
So
I muted myself and then I couldn't find the mute button, so apologies, everyone. Next up, we have a new favorite author, debut or new to you.
yes. So now I get to talk about the book that I've been reading and didn't want to talk about at the
I was
beginning.
waiting for it.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
So
great, isn't she? The book is so
yes.
good.
I'm having a blast with it. It is Club Contango. It is by Eliane Bowie. Look, I don't want to say too much because I'm still obviously, right. I'm probably not even halfway through yet. Um, I was going to read this next month, and I was just like, you know what, we're doing this episode, and I want to talk about it, so let's just start reading it. And then I couldn't stop, and that was yesterday.
Connie's such a great unreliable narrator.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things in this book. The characters, absolutely. The world building, though. So this is the thing. So this is what I will say. Again, I haven't read enough of this really to speak to it yet, but there's a thing with a lot of cyberpunk stories, and not that this is like 100% cyberpunk, but it has like a lot of that
Elements.
aesthetics and those
Yeah.
themes. Yep. Where a lot of stories that people consider cyberpunk are like an aesthetic layer on top of like a mystery story or this story
Yeah.
or whatever, something else. And when I started reading it, that was kind of something I was thinking about. Like, is this just like a layer on top? And at first, it wasn't immediately obvious. It's not a simple read. It's not easy to get into because there's a lot of proper nouns being thrown around, a lot of names of things, as a lot of cyberpunk stories tend to have. But then you keep reading and you start to sort of get invested in these characters, and the characters start to come alive. And I think that's what makes all the difference, right? Because you're experiencing this world through these characters, through Connie, and then you get to experience this world and all the pieces and the capitalist, all these corporations and the little guy trying to fight for just to stay alive basically, and all of those good themes that you find in a lot of cyberpunk works. And about like, I mean, I'm probably like not even maybe a quarter of the way through, maybe a third of the way through, and I just had this moment of realization, like this world in like it's probably just over novella length. It's not very long, is alive to me, and I'm in it,
It's
and I just kind
super
of
layered. It's
yeah,
very, very good.
yeah, I'm adoring it. So anyway, I'll leave it till I finished and we'll talk about it properly because I know you've read it as well, and
Maybe you should
Eliane
be
is
open to being
amazing.
on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe it's probably something we can probably ask and see where we go. But yeah, look, it's I'm gushing about it now because I'm
Love
so
it.
into it.
I'm
Yep.
glad that you're enjoying it. I thought
Yeah.
there's not a often time when we will align on a book the same way, but I think we will on this one when you get to the end. I'm looking forward to you telling me that you've read it.
Yeah. Looking forward to talking about it. All right, your turn.
Um, to I'm trying not to repeat anyone here. So I think a favorite new author in terms of I'll do two. One for deeply thematic reads that really make me think, and I am so inspired by this person. I've been lucky enough to chat to her. Her name is Livia J. Elliott, and she's written some novellas. So one was The Genesis of Change, and one was Dance with Me, both very deeply thematic. One, a personal trauma that's been explored through a fictional lens, which is Dance with Me, and one which is very, very philosophical, big world questions being looked at in a sci fi sphere. Reads are not easy. They don't get handed to you on a platter, particularly Genesis of Change. You do need to think with them. You need to really soul search when you're reading them. Like it really invites you to go, what would I do in that situation with godlike powers? If I was manipulating time and space and humanity, what would I do with that? Which I thought was brilliant. So I think author by author for me now. I was like, I trust you to take me on a journey. I trust you to make me think about the things that you're thinking about in your head. And something a little bit more fun, a little bit more bookish popcorn is I've been meaning to read Andy Peliquin for a very long time. And I picked up his military sci-fi series called Cerberus. So I've read the first two or listened to the first two, and they know what they're doing. They don't overstay their welcome. It's very crime of the week with cool tech. It's just you listen to it, you've listened to a whole book in a week. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It's very like different characters every time that you're in there, but they're not flat. Sometimes I find those monster of the week, those crime of the week
Yeah.
books can get very flat with the side characters that they bring in, which hasn't happened yet. What I really appreciated in the second book was by the last hour, I was like, okay, I think I'm sort of ready for this to start wrapping up. He naturally did that. He was like, okay, I think the reader's
Nice.
going to be bored by this point, or not bored, but ready for this story to finish, and has done that quite naturally. And he's been writing full time for a very long time. He publishes a couple of books a year, and I reached out to him towards the end of last year and said, hey, I want to put one of your series on my TBR for 2025, I'm thinking Cerberus because I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, and I'm glad that I did. So looking forward to seeing how much he's grown as an author as I continue on with that series as well. I think there's 14 books in it, so
Oh
it's
wow.
quite long, but they're all very short. Like they're all
Mm,
like the audio time is I think anywhere between 5 to 8 hours. Like they're not huge commitments each book. So yeah, those two for me.
cool. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love a good master of pacing because I feel like pacing is one of the things a lot of writers maybe miss
Mm,
or put last in terms of priority. And as you know, I'm not
it can
really a
get
big fan
very
of big
clunky.
books. Yeah, I think a lot of books can be edited right down and don't need to be as long as they are. That's just a me thing. That's fine. But yeah, I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of authors can do better or differently.
I'm gonna wait for that feedback on my own book because I got told to really beef it up, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it
Yeah.
needs it. We'll see. Rachel's gonna, I'm sure, tear me to shreds lovingly. Um,
Has she looked at it
no,
in terms
I
of
haven't
like
read it yet.
editing?
I went to a
Ah,
different editor first because I
yeah,
didn't want it to all be her, especially
yeah,
because potential bias and things like that.
yeah. Of
So I
course.
went to somebody else first, and she'll get the tidy up at the end.
Nice. Very good. Cool. All right. Number eight. Number eight. Yes. Number eight. Newest fictional crush.
Like I've done this tag for years in a row, right? This question always stumps me. I don't really crush on
Yeah,
anyone.
I
Like
struggled with this
I'm
one too.
very married, even in a
Very
fictional
married.
sense. Like I'm very
Yeah.
married. I don't need or want anything else.
Yeah.
So I really have to soul search every time this question comes up, and I was like, is there someone in any of the media that I would actively crush on? And my answer's been the same for like the last few years. It's not the same this year. So I think it's going to be a character called Liam from the game that I'm playing right now called Sunhaven. It's a pixel art game. Like, that's what's so funny to me is because it's like obviously they have character personas and whatever that
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
bring up on the screen, but I do have a real type for like a broken bird who's trying to fix themselves.
Mhm.
And he has moved to this town with his two younger sisters that he's looking after, and he's just trying his best, and he owns a bakery and he's so sweet. And I was like, probably
Aw.
Liam. Like if I had a fictional crush, I'd be like, I want to fix you. So if I could, you could just let me into your life to solve your problems. That's such a Virgo answer as well. It's like
I think that's
you
perfect for you, actually.
you
Yeah.
need organization and I can help you with that.
It's my speciality. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
that's
What
hilarious.
about you?
Yeah, I kind of also had to do a little bit of soul searching for this one. And this was the only one that I have a TV show answer for. Because I couldn't think of like a book or a game even. I haven't, read enough really for it to be that way. But it was an easy one when I expanded the options available, and I chose I chose Cordelia Cup from The Residence. So The Residence is it's like a, I don't know, murder mystery kind of story, but that takes place in the White House. It's on Netflix, and it's just been cancelled. And you
Yeah,
mentioned that last episode.
Devo.
So honestly, I'm probably going to just look for the cancelled shows at this point because they're all the best ones that I absolutely love. So
You can enjoy
whatever.
your time. Limited series where it's just one season and they're done.
100%. At least this one ends, apparently. I've not finished the season. But it's got Uzo Aduba in it, and she freaking knocks it out the park. Like every
She's
episode that I've
funny.
watched, she's freaking
The
hilarious.
comedic timing that she has is very, very good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just laughing at literally every line. She doesn't have to say anything, and I'm already laughing. Like she just looks at somebody funny, and it's hilarious. But the episode that I just watched, which was episode 4, it starts differently than all the other episodes, and you really get some insight about her character. And it was just so heartfelt, and I like my heart just melted, and I'm just like, oh, that's just fucking adorable. Just the what you see of her character, and it shows the audience like what she's, why she is the way she is, and how that's not a bad thing when someone's different, and you have your own way, your own uniqueness, and that should be celebrated. So anyway, I just thought it's a great show, and she's just a great character.
I love that we're both like super partnered up. We're like, I don't know. I'm not really interested.
It's the
Okay.
best I got.
Yeah, that's what I can do for you.
Yeah. Cool. All right, your turn.
Newest favorite character?
Yes. Okay. Similar to the last question, like I kind of had to think about it as well because I think a lot of the stuff that I've read, like I couldn't. I mean, I could have easily just said. Oops, I could have easily just said Connie, but I haven't read it yet. Um, so I wanted to do
I
something
almost gave away
different.
such a big spoiler.
Oh.
Anyway, we'll roll that back, reel that back.
So I chose Christian Avasarala from the Expanse books. So she's not a new character to me. She technically is in the, I think it was like book 1 or 2 that was introduced, that we are introduced to her character from. But in the book that I'm reading now, so book 6 of the Expanse series, Babylon's Ashes, her character just comes alive. She's a very abrasive character, let's say. So I can imagine she was a fun one to write. She's technically she's like the Secretary General at the United Nations, for all these planets. And is it? I guess it would be. Would it be UN nations? I think it's anyway interplanetary. There's lots of worlds going on here.
It's
But anyway,
sci-fi.
so she's
Planets are
like,
fucking everywhere.
she's got a position of power, let us say, and so she can kind of say and do whatever she wants and get away with it. But I just think it's hilarious that she can say some really rude things and totally get away with that. And I just thought it was, she's one of those characters where you live vicariously through this character to be able to like just say whatever
Right.
and still have friends at the end of the day. But I think we get to see a side of her character that's a little bit more endearing, a little bit softer, sort of. We kind of get some insights, and it's just nice to have that. And she's just very well rounded in that sense now. So, yeah, she was my pick. I'm excited to read the rest of the story and see what happens with her character, or if she makes an appearance with the rest of the books. I mean, who knows? I haven't finished it yet. She might she might kick the bucket.
That is a
Who
real
knows?
risk when you read big series that all the characters
Indeed.
ain't gonna make it.
That's it. How about yourself?
This is like a double up for me. I've got two double ups, and my favorite character is going to be Mrs. Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. I thought she was so ridiculous, but I
That's
loved
perfect.
her. I loved every second she was on the page being utter nonsense because she reminded me of my mother-in-law, which is, I don't know if
Truth
that's
comes out.
awful or not, but
Oh, that's endearing.
just some of the things that she says, and like, that she loves her daughters so much, but she's a product of her time. There are all these ideals that she has which aren't necessarily modern even for the time that they're in. And the dynamic between it, maybe it's the couple, maybe it's Mr. and Mrs. Bennet together. I just thought they were perfect. They were just
Yeah,
so good.
that's a great
So
answer, actually.
yeah, I love her. I just want to share a cup of tea with her, and just like, 'cause I'm sure she would tell me off for
Yep.
something, and I'll be living for it.
Get a lecture of some sort. Yeah,
And yeah, 100%.
that's
So
great.
yes.
Love that. Cool. All right, we're up to number 10. Uh,
Yeah.
book that made you cry.
Again, this is one that always stumps me because I'm not a crier. I'm just not. I don't often have strong emotions for anything, but I will say I did tear up in Only a Grave Will Do by James Lloyd Dawn. There is a scene towards the end of that book which just like rips your heart out. So if you are an emotional reader, be forewarned going into that one, because I know that if I tear up, other people are bawling.
Yeah.
So if there's any sort of moisture that happens in my eyes, I'm like, that is a moment that's really just
Yeah.
gut punched half of the people that have read this book. So yeah, it doesn't happen very often that I will have a teary moment in anything really, but that one got me. But
Yeah.
you, I feel like are you more of a crier than I am? That's not a bad thing. That sounded so
No,
rude.
I mean, I think more than you because I think everyone is more than you, but
Yeah, well, I'm sure I
but
could go to the doctor and do a specific type of diagnoses that would probably tell us more about that.
there's a theme to this episode. Um,
I was hugging a
so
shark toy like literally before we started.
he actually was.
Yeah.
Um, so interestingly, so I've noticed something recently where I have actually been crying at more things that I've been reading or watching or playing. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just because the stuff that I'm reading is good, like maybe that's why, but I don't know. So there have been quite a few, and I could easily say Flowers for Algernon, because obviously that book is just can be. I was gonna say it's devastating. It is in some ways, but it's also hopeful in others. So like it's not just like sad, but it's an emotional book for sure. But I didn't want to repeat answers, so I've actually got another one, which is a game and tiny little, very short narrative puzzle game that I've mentioned on the podcast before, The Last Campfire. I actually did cry at this one. It's a little, puzzle game by Hello Games, so the same developer that does No Man's Sky. And yeah, it's about this little like lost ember, kind of like a metaphor for a lost soul in search of, finding a way to move on. But there's like a whole bunch of things that have happened and obstacles in the way, and there's a reason why everyone's kind of stuck and can't move on. And so this little lost ember is just trying to fix everything. And yeah, it was just really heartfelt, and it was like the kind of sadness that's cathartic though. Like it's not just sad for being sad's sake. It was like a healthy cry, I guess. If you know what that is, Chris. Um,
Can't relate. What, I don't, what healthy crying? Don't know.
yeah. So anyway, this one got to me, and I think it was quite moving. So I do recommend it.
Nice. Is it me?
Conversely,
Yeah, the opposite
books that made
of
you
that.
happy.
Books that make us happy. I mean, I don't know if it's me. I'm going, but Picture of Dorian Gray for me made me happy
Oh wow.
because is it a happy book? No,
We're getting insight into your personality here.
but whoever is here knows.
True.
There's
Fair
nothing
point.
like I can say that will shock our audience. It made me happy because I really didn't want to not like it as much as I did. Because you know how sometimes you get
Yeah.
nostalgia bias, I guess is
Yes.
probably the way to put it. And I read it such a long time ago, and I was like, what if I don't love it as much as I think I love it? But I did. So that made me happy that I finished this book, and I was like, you know what? That's a banger of a book. And I still
Nice.
love it. I still like, there are some times in here where I was like laughing, again, maybe an insight into my personality that no one really needs. But there are some one-liners and some just like ridiculous sentiments in here that make me chuckle. Again, not a happy book. Themes aren't happy, but some of the satire in here does hit. And it's just, I guess my humor is like we're poking fun at these things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really had a great time with it. It's like maybe I should reread this one more. It's something I could easily put in once every couple of years just to,
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty
remind
short.
myself of it
Yeah.
being a favorite. But yeah, that one made me happy.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to read it now. I don't know, like just like life, gets in the way, but like I did
It's a
start it
heavy
with the
book.
intention of talking about it. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I
Themes-wise, it
don't
is.
annotate, and I've got a bunch of stuff in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I'm kind of wanting to take my time with it too, because I don't want to miss things. I think that's the perfectionist tendency in me as well, where I feel like I don't want to miss the important things, and that's to my detriment, because then I get through books really slowly. Obviously, it's inevitable that you will miss something. No one can grasp every single thing in a first read of a book, but yeah, I'm just taking my time with it. But yeah, that's a good answer. I also have a book, and I've got a game as well, just because it's an easy one. The book is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Douglas
It's like,
Adams. Yeah, not your jam. I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed it though. It's a good palate cleanser, so I think I'll probably read the others at some point between other books. Probably not this year, but yeah, I kind of I have the same kind of like what would you call it? Like a resistance to funny books that you do, and that we've talked about before. But I think sometimes if I get over that
yeah,
and
I don't
just
know if
pick it
it's
up and
as
read
much
it,
of a turn off for you as it is for me.
maybe not.
Whereas
Yeah.
I'll be like, that is that meant to be funny? Fuck off. It's like I don't want that. But like
Yeah.
witty, I enjoy.
Yes. Well, it is that, right? So it's both, and it's very British humor as well. So that's kind of my thing. If I'm going to laugh at anything, it's going to be very very British style humor. So it had a lot that I loved about it. But like I'm not running to read the others because I know
Right.
what that is like, and they're not going anywhere. They're very easy to find, so I just read them later on. But yeah, it did make me happy. It was very very funny. And then the game is completely not a story game, nothing to do with a story in this game, but it's Mario Kart World, because that's just a ton of fun. That's just
You know
joy
what? You're just
in
having
game
fun.
form.
That's just joy. Unabridged joy.
Yep. yeah, I've been playing that a little bit. It's just a fun game. I know I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, but it's good.
I thought you were going to go Fantasy Life again for that one, to be
Yeah, I'm trying
honest.
not to double up, but that could
Right.
easily be on this list too.
I mean, I feel like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is actually quite thematic, and
Yeah,
there are some very
yeah.
heavy themes in there that they do with humor, but
Oh
I've just
yeah,
never been able to get into the writing. I think I
yeah,
would like the themes. I don't think just the humor. Same with Terry
yeah.
Pratchett. I could just
So
never get
yeah,
into it,
yeah,
but I'm sure it's
yeah,
very thematic. I've heard it's very thematic.
yeah. He's an author that I like highly respect, but also find very difficult to read. So
Yeah,
I get it.
right.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, who's go? I've lost
I
track.
don't know.
I've
No,
got nothing.
number 12, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received.
I really had to look at these ones because I haven't bought. Is that a lie? Am I lying to myself?
Short-term memory.
Potentially. A lot of the really pretty books that I've purchased aren't here yet. They're like pre-orders or broken binding.
Uh-oh.
Like one is on the way. So I had to like have a look at some of the books that I bought, and I think this one may be the most beautiful cover I've bought this year, and that's The Expanded Earth by Mickey Please. Like this is
Oh
gorgeous.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the light is very whitewashed in here, so um, but this is environmental sci-fi. I'm pretty sure, and that is just like it just pops. It just
It's
works.
very retro style as
It's
well. Like I love that.
so good. It says dark, witty, and wildly ambitious. Mickey Please guides us into the expanded Earth, a high-stakes adventure packed with jeopardy and life-affirming beauty. A story that ultimately celebrates the capacity of the small things to effect great change. And I was like, I saw it, and I was like, I don't care how much that is. Give it to me.
It will be mine.
This is for me now. But yeah, it's
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. Well, look, I think you got to do that sometimes, right? Like you'd see a pretty cover on a book, and you have to add it to the collection.
Yeah, we're
Judging
not
a book by its
vain,
cover and all
however,
that.
we
Not at
are
all.
incredibly vain. I'm just gonna
Yes.
make some room for the TBR question that comes
Nice.
next.
Fair enough. I'm also swimming in books. You can't see. There's some in front of me here. There's some off to my side, which we'll get to in a minute. But yes, they are also everywhere.
This area of my desk looks so bare without anything on it, though. So to put
It will
the
be filled very
prop
soon.
there. Yeah.
Indeed.
What about you?
So bear with me a sec while I pick up this tome of the book. So yeah, that way. Yeah, I don't have many I don't buy enough books really, or at least I haven't this year.
You're a
That's
big
a lie.
ebook
I do.
reader,
Yeah,
though. Like you buy a
not
lot
this
more
year,
on your
interestingly. Yeah,
okay,
I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 at this
terrible
point,
influence.
but I've been behaving myself, let's just say. But I didn't very early in the year, when I discovered that there was a 35th anniversary edition of all of the Akira books, manga, and I bought
Oh,
the
that's
whole
right.
set of it. And you can't see it on my camera at the moment, but I'll put a link in the show notes because I did a little short video on it, I think on Instagram. Because there was a whole set of all of them, and they are freaking stunning. And just like the books alone, this one doesn't have the slip cover on it. I took it off; it's up there somewhere. But you can see the actual the cover itself, like it's just absolutely stunning. And then the inside, the end papers, have colored art on them as well. Obviously it's black and white in the book, but yeah, there is sort of colored end papers, and it's just it's stunning collection. The box itself, though, in the video you can see it, but it kind of opens up upwards, so it kind of like it's not a box just with a lid. It kind of expands and it folds up, and it's kind of hard to explain. You got to see it. It's kind of unreal. And the whole thing was actually a pretty bargain price, to be honest. I think it's still available at a discount price on. I won't name all the websites you can buy it on, but you know the ones. But yeah, it's a stunning collection, and I haven't read any yet, but that's absolutely for the second half of the year. I want to get through, maybe not all of them, but at least some of them.
Are you a big manga reader? I feel like another
No,
episode we could do is on manga, but we need to like find someone who's a big manga reader to like I don't know interview because
yeah,
I'm also not.
no, yeah. I read comic books, or at least I used to read a lot more than I do, like Western comic books. But for manga, not really. I watch more anime than I read manga. But even that's not very much these days. But I'm a big fan of the Akira movie, which is why I picked up the
Right.
manga, because I think it's just thematics.
I mean,
It's a heavy hitter.
I'd like to
Yeah,
try more. I just had no
yeah.
idea where to start. And like
I
I don't
think
want to
you
get
would.
into volumes of like 1,000
Yeah,
manga books. I don't have the time
No,
or the space.
there's a lot. I think for manga, it's pretty safe to stick with the popular ones, the ones that have come to the West for a reason. And Akira is one of those. It's probably one of the biggest well-known ones. Yeah, obviously because the movie is done so well here as well. But I think you would probably like it because it's science fiction horror. There's a lot of like body horror
I do
elements.
like
It's a lot of
horror.
yeah. So
I
I
think
think
if I
it's
was going
kind
to
of
get
up your
into
alley.
manga, it would be horror. But like, just saying the popular ones is a turn off. I'm like, hype train, don't care. Like all these people talking about One Piece, I'm like, don't care.
Yeah, look, there is that as well, and same for me. But I think there's a lot of more intellectual or a lot more thinky kind of philosophical stuff that is mainstream, weirdly. And I think
Okay.
it's a cultural difference where in Japan there's just a lot more of that than we
Yeah,
have.
right. Okay, last one. We made it. This has been another long episode.
It has. I didn't expect it to
Sorry
be
for
actually.
your editing self after this.
That's
Um,
fine.
so the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I put together like a mini TBR of 4 books. There's not a huge stack, but 4 books I would very much like to read before the end of the year. Did you have like one, or do you also have a list?
Well, at least one of us was sensible because
Oh
I've
no.
got a stack, is what
Okay.
I brought.
All right. Well,
So
I'm just gonna get
maybe
my stack from over
yeah.
here.
Oh yeah, he's been lifting at the gym clearly.
Just one arm. It's just for books. Just the
Yeah,
book
that's all you
arm.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't need lift weights,
Um,
just books.
well, do you want me to go
Um,
since I only have 4? Like I don't
well,
have that
yeah,
many, and you
maybe
can just
you do yours.
you take us
Yeah,
home with your 1,000 book TBR. All right.
the
Well,
shame.
I was looking at things that I like series that I want to continue finish. One of them is a buddy read with you, and just like realistically, what can I get through this year? Because this year has been way more move ready than any year
Yeah,
previously
has for you
that
actually.
I've had, and I'm gravitating towards different things. Like the next thing I want to pick up is another. I don't know if it's a classic, but it's like a literary fiction that reads like a classic, like very flowery, which I didn't get in my pile, so I'm just reaching awkwardly to get it. And that's
Discreet.
Jamaica Inn by, this is not going to do it any justice, it's too glary, by Daphne du Maurier. It's like this old leather-bound copy I picked up for $5 at like a secondhand bookshop. It smells like secondhand bookshop, which I don't know if it's disgusting that I've been like all day. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it smells like old books. I don't know how to describe that smell to you. If
I think I know
you're
what
book
you
people,
mean.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
but a series that I'd like to finish that I really enjoyed this year, Queer Normative World by M.A. Carrick. This is the Rook and Rose series. So this is book 3, Labyrinth's Heart, which I would very much like to pick up. Almost was my sequel of the year, the second book to this, just
Oh
in
wow.
that the first book was really good setup and you didn't feel like it was set up. But then by the time you were reading the second book and the plot really kicked in, you're like, oh, it was all set up in that first book. Like it really started to ramp up now. So that's the third book
That's a
in
big
that
book too.
series that I would like to finish. Nah, it's only fantasy. Come on, that's baby. That's a baby book. This is a big book, and this is the one we're reading together. A series that I asked people what I should read this year was, I don't know what the series is called. The First Empires of Dust, novels by Anna Smith Spark. It's a white cover, so let's try and get it over here out of the glare there. So this is a trilogy. I would like to read the trilogy this year. So is this a cheat? I don't know, because it's technically 3 books in one. But a lot of people really love this author and think that I will really vibe with the author. So I think it's dark, epic fantasy with some very heavy themes in there. I finished Malazan, which means back to Wheel of Time to finally
Ah,
continue on. So this is book
nice.
5. This is Fires of Fires of Heaven. I've not had a great track record with Wheel of Time. Not that I'm not enjoying the books, but I think I've done one a year. I think maybe I did 2 last year. And it's a 14-book series. So by that count, it's going to take me a very, very long time to finish this fucking series. So I would like to, if possible, get book 5 and 6 read this year. And the last one is one we're looking to read in September together, potentially starting in August, because this is a chonk. This is huge. This is Exodus by Peter F. Hamilton. And are we going to talk about this one? This will be my first
I'd
Peter F.
like to.
Hamilton.
Yeah,
And
it would be mine too, actually. Yeah.
there's a game being made of this one. And I believe there's a second book. It's a duology. I don't know if it's bigger than that. I assume it was a duology.
Yeah, it's just the two. As far
Just
as we
the
know,
two.
there might be more down
Yeah.
the track.
that he's writing. So I would like to also read the Commonwealth Saga, I think it's called, which is another duology by him, which starts with Pandora's Star. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But I've heard that he's quite good to listen to. So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
potentially do immersion with this, which may help me read it faster. Not immersion. So immersion, I think,
Ah,
is when you listen and read
at the
at the
same
same
time.
time.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm doing an audio and a physical, like I'll listen to a chapter, but then I'll pick up the next chapter in
Yeah, right.
physical and I'll read them in together. So yeah, that is my little list that I have.
Cool. I'm actually doing an immersion read for this one because I do have the audiobook. So I probably
Right.
won't do it 100% of the time because it's a big book and you know how I feel about big books. But I might do that at least some of the time. I did start it and then I dropped off because got busy. But I think we're going to read that one in September if we're on track for that. So yeah, that would be a good one to discuss on the podcast as well. Wish me luck. That's a huge book for me.
Yeah, I definitely pushed. I had another like plans to read The Wars of Light and Shadow, which is a 11 book series, which is another big fantasy. One of my favorite authors of all time has written it, but I'm like, I'm going to push it because I've got another number of big books and I'll start it next year. So Exodus can happen because that's going to
Nice.
take a whole month, I reckon, to read.
Yeah, easily. Okay. Here goes nothing. So look, I picked a bunch of books that I want to read. I don't know what I'm going to get through, but I'll just smash through these just real quick. A couple of them are the ones that you got for me actually. So when we did our book exchange, so one is the Memory Called Empire, Arcady Martin. This one has been on my list for literally years, like since it came out. I don't know what year it was published. Um,
That's
was it
duology as
like
well, isn't it?
early? Was it 2020 or 2019? Yeah, so I want to get through at least the first one, political science fiction, which is usually my jam. Although I think when I started reading it, it read a little bit like a fantasy
Right.
type of story, and I think sometimes I can be easily turned off by that, and that's again to my detriment. But that one I do want to read because it's been on my list forever. But also the other one that you got me, which is Those Left Behind by N.C. Scrimmager,
I think is
correct?
how you pronounce it. I might
Sorry
read
if I
that one
butchered that.
with you if we can tee that up
Yeah,
because that's a
absolutely.
trilogy and I'd like to read her stuff.
hmm So that's on the list. Again, been on the list since that would have been for Christmas. So, whoops. And then similar, from my parents got me this one for Christmas as well, which is the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, Murakami. I ended up reading other books before this one, just because I did have some that were on my TBR before I got this one, and then I was going to circle back around to it. So this is probably the one that I'm most excited to read now that I finished Norwegian Wood and Kafka on the Shore, which I loved. Well, I loved Kafka on the Shore, not so much Norwegian Wood. It was fine. I still liked it a lot. But this one I'm excited to read. All of these, by the way, are well, except for a couple, they're quite big books. So because I'm already behind on my reading goals for this year, I might just go screw it. Let's just read all the big books that I usually put off because I'm trying to pad out my reading goal, which is stupid. But numbers. So I might just read all the big ones.
How to tell you're a results focused person.
I'm not usually, but because I'm so behind, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna catch up somehow. So I'm reading all these
Right.
novellas, but anyway. And then I've got The Stand. This one I do absolutely 100% need to get through this year. So I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe next month. I actually want to read it quite soon. And I'm kind of excited to read it again now because Willow from Willow Talks Books, formerly Books and Bow, on YouTube. I'll put the link in the show notes. Recently just read it as well and was talking about it. And I
It's
was just
so
like
good.
super, yeah. And it's because you've talked about it and you've read it. And I need to start reading more Stephen King books again because, yes, I'm still doing the chronological order of Stephen King books. It just has been put on
Also, he
pause.
keeps fucking writing them,
I
so
know.
it's very hard to
Just
keep up.
stop, man.
Brother, retire.
Yeah, he's never going to.
No.
And then there's all the Expanse books. So I've got 3 more to go of those ones. And if I can, I would like to read The Wise Man's Fear. because I have it. I bought the physical book of it. It's a lovely edition, by
It's
the
a
way.
beautiful
It's just,
edition.
I mean, look at this flop. It's just.
I mean, look, you're still going to
freaking
wait 10
perfect.
years for the next book to come out if
I,
it
I
doesn't.
don't care. I love the first one so much that, like,
That still
fantasy.
blows my mind that you like the first one.
Yeah, and you hated what's it, Quoth?
Oh, Kavoth can go jump in a
Yeah.
hole. I don't say that about real people, but fictional characters. Look, it's been what, again, 15 years probably since I read it. So it's beautifully written. Like I
Had a
can't
great time
fault
with it.
Rothfuss for like use of language, absolutely stunning.
No. Yeah.
Prose, but I would need to read it again if I was going to go on to Wise Man's Fear. I have them.
That's fair.
I think Game of Thrones is going to come for me first before I get back into that. I haven't read it.
Oh wow. Really?
I know. Am I even
Wow.
a fantasy fan? I don't know.
Even I've read those ones. What's going on?
I read the first book,
like
really
2.
loved it. Never went on to the
Yeah.
second book.
Yeah. I don't think I could read it now because I've watched it, and I don't want to revisit it. Like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, I never watched it. So I think I watched 4 episodes. And then I was like, nah, I'm not a big watcher anyway, but that's a me thing.
And I have two more that I just want to quickly mention because I have them here because I came prepared. Service Model and Alien Clay, Tchaikovsky, Adrian Tchaikovsky. I mean, look, do I need to say any more? He's also putting out too many books and he's on fire, so I kind of need to catch up. So,
yeah, a couple a year.
Yeah.
Like, what? How?
Like
how?
months,
it took me 3 years to do one book. Like, how are you putting out multiple per year? I don't have the discipline to sit and do it full time, so
yeah,
don't know. I'd like to read more of Tchaikovsky. I think I'll probably do the sci-fi series first. Children of Time, is that the one that it starts with? I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's one that I have read and thoroughly enjoyed it. So,
did you finish the series?
Like a series? No, it's just that one. I will probably read the others. It's very much up your alley, I think, because it's very world focused and not very character heavy at all. And I think that's why I didn't love it as much. So
it was so different.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah,
not the same stuff.
It cracks us up all the time.
Different.
Yeah.
We did it. An hour and a half later, we did this tag.
Good job, go us. Nailed it. Yeah. How many times did we go off the rails? It wasn't that many, I think.
I feel like this was actually not that bad compared to some of the other times that we've gone on the podcast. So that was the mid-year somewhat freak out tag, I guess. I don't know, either of us really freaked out that much.
In a good way.
If you want to watch the podcast, you can head on over to Genre Blender Podcast on YouTube. The audio-only version is available on Apple and Spotify, so pick your podcast app of choice. We do now have a website, which is
genreblender.net. Yeah.
genreblender.net.
There is, and I've been posting some articles up there, so I'll be posting more. It's just kind of where I've been putting stuff. So if you're interested in reading stuff, it's up there, but the podcast episodes are there as well.
I was going to say, it's been pretty cool to see Ryan get back into writing. So the blog articles are over there. So we've got the blog happening, so go and check that out. And if you want to follow us on the socials, we are Genre Blender Podcast across Instagram. And if we got a Threads, we've got a Blue Sky over there. So pick a social platform, type in Genre Blender Podcast. If we're there, you can go ahead and follow us. If you want to hang out with Ryan or I, our links will also be down below at our respective social media outlets.
Nice. And to all the world hoppers out there, we wish you safe travels, and we'll catch you in the next episode, which should be, if all goes to plan, a bit of a, let's say, a roundtable discussion on a particular animated Netflix film that's got a banging soundtrack. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So that's K-pop Demon Hunters. If you've watched it, or if you haven't, you've got 2 weeks to watch it and talk about it with us, and we can all have a bit of a celebration
I think
of it.
This will be like the most modern thing we've ever spoken about.
Yeah, probably.
Still relevant.
Yeah. It should be good. Cool. But until then, take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.